Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is part 2 of the series Your Self-Hosted Notes app in 3DVista. And in part 1 I basically explained a little bit about the overview of what we're going to be creating. And in part 2, this video, I'm going to talk about some initial steps to take to get started with this. And I'll just see how far I get with this. And based on that, I'll make part 3 and more. So let's get into 3DVista. What you guys are going to be importing is just over here, MISC, and then you'll say import the VTL library file. You add in the file, and then you get this to put just anywhere. And this needs to be showing. I believe I added in the logic to show all of this on the start, but yeah, this one needs to be shown. Now let's preview it, and I'll just show you the screens that are appearing. So when I put this on the side, like so, first of all, we have this button and this hover effect, right? So you can see in here it starts with background and foreground, what I'm having over here. That is needed because the background needs to be things that we can click through with the mouse, while the foreground needs to be clickable with the buttons. So for example, when we click on this, there's a background so that we can do this, but there's also a foreground so you can do this, these buttons. And I'll show you that in here. First of all, we have the open notes, so that is this button, and we have the open notes hover. So I made it in such a way that the one is with a one, right? So this is related with each other. Then the second part is where you do the first click. So we click, and now we see this. Then the second part, we see that there's point camera in the background, and we have point camera in the foreground. This separation is needed because there is something with the 3DVista to enable interaction that is needed for the foreground, while in the background you need to have this off, otherwise you cannot click through this whole thing. All of these little details took me a while to figure out, but so that's why you can just follow along with what I've built so far. Then there is, after that, you click this button, it goes to create a note. So all of this is foreground, and that is needed because when you create a note, you don't want the user to be moving anymore. So when you're clicking on this button, you don't want people to move around anymore, like this. Like they made a decision, this is the image, and that's it. No more moving around thinking that you're doing something different. So that's why now everything is into the foreground. And then you can see that a form is opening up. Right now I have I'm showing you all the fields that are actually being pre-filled, and later on we're going to hide these fields when we click on it. Then we do not see the view link, the username, and the origin path and the project ID, because this stuff should be automatically filled in. Like whoever is logged in needs to be showing that username there, but the user can always assign it to someone else. So, and that way we can have the separation of who's creating the node and who's it being assigned to. And yeah, and once we submit, then this is the form. We'll say thank you, and then you can say, well, let's create this new view, and that's it. But as you can see in here, we still have a fourth one. So the fourth one is this one. And this is something that we'll be using this tag for a view node. So in the backend, I can see this deep link that we just created. I'll just copy that, the view link. Or it's just right up here actually. So first of all, I'll just refresh this one now. And what I'll be doing here is later on, we're going to be opening this deep link. So we'll say hashtag media is this, right? But when people are viewing this, I don't want them to be moving around. And I want them to focus on exactly that part where the user who created the node also saw it. So that's why I'm going to be adding in something else into this URL, and I'll say n sct show component tag is, and then I'll say view node like this. And now we have this screen on top of it, and we cannot move around anymore. So that's kind of the beauty of this. However, we can still zoom in and zoom out, but we cannot turn left or right or anything like that. So that there is no confusion possible for the user to be saying, but I thought maybe this or that. No, this camera angle is exactly the same way. You can put it in full screen, that's all right. You can zoom in and zoom out, and that's it. So that's why there's a background and a foreground. In the foreground, you cannot move anymore when there's an image in there, and in the background you can. So those are the 4 stages that I have in here. And as you noticed, it is connected with base row. That's going to be it for the next episode.